Hello everyone, today is 14th of February, now it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is new episode of Headlines, short summary of the news that I will talk about in my second daily news update on Patreon page of mine. If you are interested to support this project, to support my work by subscribing to Patreon, you can see a link under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. That's been said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, I want to share with you some pictures from Selidovo. Of course, many of you are informed that yesterday, in the first half of the day, Russian armed forces conducted, according to reports, by the way, that we are receiving from different sources, Russian armed forces conducted strikes on point of concentration of Ukrainian armed forces, some training ground, and this is aftermath, pictures of the aftermath of that shelling. These pictures were released just today, so Kiev regime had enough time to conduct some cleanup operation in this area, but you clearly can see that at least this part of the area, training ground, received quite severe damage. So this is actually, we can say, photo confirmation of information that we have already 2 days. Today, Russian Defense Ministry did not share with the public additional information about this strike, but at least we have now photo confirmation that strike definitely took place. According to different sources, at least 1,500 mobilized reservists were undergoing training in this area, although some military channels are reporting that Kiev regime concentrated in this area neo-Nazi Azov 3rd Brigade before its deployment towards Avdiivka, and it is possible that that brigade was also targeted during this strike. That's been said, let's continue with the headlines, and the first headline from RIA Novosti. According to this, Ukrainian armed forces are getting ready to lose main support and supply line in Avdiivka for Avdiivka's garrison in the central and southern parts of the city, and some military channels already are reporting that Russian side established fire control over that main supply and support line, and situation for Ukrainian garrison in Avdiivka is deteriorating by hours, not even by days, but by hours. RIA Novosti's report. And by the way, when it comes to Avdiivka, we also have some reports that significant number of Ukrainian military personnel flee Avdiivka without orders. So some sort of panic is settling in, as I understand, in garrison of Avdiivka. RIA Novosti's report that Shoigu conducted revision of several manufacturing plants that are participating in producing of weapons for Russian Defense Ministry. Shoigu inspected how effectively orders have been completed. Orders for military weapons have been completed or worked on by companies of military industrial complex. I did share some video of Shoigu's inspection in one of the companies on my Telegram. You can check that video if you are interested. Also, by the way, TASS news agencies report that Dmitry Peskov, press spokesman of Russian president, did not comment, refused to comment on information that is circulating in internet since the morning, basically, that Ukrainian armed forces, with use of unmanned naval drones, targeted the Russian big amphibious landing ship Cesar Kunikov and dealt some severe damage on this ship. Some reports are suggesting that ship was sunk even, although we don't have any comment from Russian Defense Ministry yet on this topic, and Peskov, press spokesman of Russian president, also did not spoke about this subject. RT's report that, Kremlin also responded, or Peskov, Dmitry Peskov, let's say, also responded to reports in the Western media that Putin offered to freeze Ukrainian conflict. Of course, all the details in second update on Patreon. Next headline is that RT, according to RT's information, Biden urges US House of Representatives to pass bill with the 60 billion for Ukraine, 60 billion US dollars or US taxpayers' money to Ukraine. As I understand, the Democrats and Republicans in House are not really on the same page yet, but probably at some point they will be, because the US military-industrial complex not gonna lose this last big paycheck from Ukrainian crisis. They will use all their influence to make sure that at least some amount from that 60 billion will eventually end up on their bank accounts. And of course, same will be done by corrupt US officials, and there are plenty of them. Almost all of them are corrupt. TASS news agencies report that Putin signed a law about confiscation of properties for fake news about Russian army, fake news that intends to discredit Russian not just militaries but also security services. So for some people it's gonna become really difficult to operate in Russia and same time, or from Russia, and same time spread some fake news about Russia itself, Russian armed forces, Russian security services, and so on. RIA Novosti's report, I guess Western elites, Western ruling class will use this law as one additional reason to criticize Moscow, although I think government has every right to protect country from foreign agents, and foreign influence. RIA Novosti's report that according to Lavrov, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov today was speaking to Parliament, and during his speech he highlighted that despite attempts, Western countries, Western ruling elites dramatically fail to isolate Russia, which is true, by the way, which is definitely true. If anyone is also isolated, if anyone's side is isolated in this world, it's definitely not Russia. It's a Western world that become really distant from rest of the world. And this process will only accelerate, I believe, and at some point in a number of years' time, we will clearly have two blocks, if I may say this way. There will be one political, financial, military bloc, so-called collective West, and then will be, there will be another financial, political, not necessarily military bloc in place of rest of the world, which is significantly bigger than collective West. Anyway, let's continue. RT's report with the headline that Beijing reacts to claim EU will target Chinese firms with the Russian sanctions. Well, Beijing definitely has many tools to introduce counter sanctions on EU companies, and in this sanction, if it will start the sanction war between EU member states and China, I mean, we can clearly say which side will lose that sanction war. It's definitely not going to be China, that's for sure. The Western world is not really in a position to act like they are dominant force in this world any longer, because they don't. And sooner they will realize, sooner Western ruling elites will realize that they are no longer dominant force and they are no longer seen by the rest of the world as a dominant power. Better for the West. Because if they will continue to pressure this crazy narrative that they are main moral authority, main policeman in this world, and it's Western ruling elites that have to tell to everybody how to live, what is right and what is wrong. Well, longer they will continue these crazy policies, more damage will be done, first of all, to Western world. Anyway, let's continue. TASS news agencies report that Foreign Ministry of Latvia summoned Russian ambassador because Russian Interior Ministry put a number of high-ranking officials, ministers in Latvia in a wanted list, and same was done by Estonian Foreign Ministry. They summoned Russian ambassador because Russian Interior Ministry also put in a wanted list for criminal charges, not just high-ranking officials, not just any high-ranking official in Estonia, but Prime Minister of Estonia also. That's quite interesting. RT's report that German Foreign Minister, Financial Minister, sorry, German Financial Minister admits economy in Germany is unfit, which is not surprising at all. And of course, more detailed information about each of these topics in my second update on Patreon page. If you are interested, as I mentioned in the beginning, you can see a link to my Patreon under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. I will end this short summary with this. Wish you a great day. Take care.